Students, today we are going to see case 2 when welded joint subjected to bending moment. Learning objective of today's session is to know the design of welded joint subjected to bending moment. In some of the application you will find the two plates are joints directly by the plate joints also, and how to design such a joints. Design of joint means to find out its thickness or in general dimension of that joints, and it's by considering the whatever the equations we are using, just by assuming the static load condition, you are not taking care of the dynamic load condition and other cases are because of the limitation of welded joint is thermal distortion. If we are not carrying out this micro analysis of this, the how thermal stresses are going to induce in it, what would be its effects on the welded joint, how it is going to sustain the basis. By making some of the assumption and making the equations analysis simple one, we are trying to find out the dimensions of the weld or design of the weld. Try to understand. This is case number 2. Know the design of welded joint subjected to bending moment. Last session, yesterday, we have seen when welded joint is subjected to eccentric load in the plane of the weld. You will find because of that eccentric load, and how to replace that eccentric load by taking the position of that load at the CG, because of primary shear stresses are going to induce in it. Again, that's couple P into E, which acts on these welded joints or throat of the weld, and because of that secondary shear stresses are going to induce in it. Then at the last, what we have to do, primary shear stresses means force upon area, then secondary shear stresses means that is MTR by J, and finally we have to find out the resultant shear stress. Yesterday we have seen one problem also, how to design the welded joint subjected to eccentric load in the plane of the weld. Today we are going to see the design of welded joint subjected to bending moment. Now let us see. It's here you will find, look at this diagram. Now in this case, this is one plate, or you can say this is plate number 1, and this is the or part plate 1 or part 1 part 2. They are joined here. If you are going to observe from this view, you will find just you will get one the triangle here, or you can see nomenclature we have observed here, welded joint, how to represent it on a paper. But if you are going to observe from this side, so you will find this weld, that is W1 or weld 1, and bottom side here W2. If you are going to observe from this side, you will find this is weld 1 and this is weld 2. That means in this case, and when it is subjected to the load P at a distance of E, so what would happen? So you will find the bending stresses are going to induce in it. Bending stresses are going to induce in it. Now here, sometimes just only this figure is given. It will not give you guideline whether there how many welds are there. But here you will observe the 1 and 2 welds, and how much is the length of the weld, we don't know. Thickness very well, we are assuming it as a T. But in sometimes suppose if another third here, if I am going to show here by hidden line, suppose just for a discussion, just for a this, that means from this side also there is another weld here, that is W3. Try to understand W3. And if I am going to make here also the dark one or the solid one, so you can say if you are observing from this side, that means this side also we are going to use a weld. That means it consists of maybe 1 2 3 weld, or 1 2 3 4 weld also. Try to understand. That means while solving the problem, you have to take the care how many welds. That is important. It's okay, side view is given, you will get the idea. Yeah, that means in this figure, how many welds are used? 2 fillets welds are used. That is a W1 and W2. And by using this fillet weld, this part 1 is joined to the part 2. And these 2 fillet weld details are given in this view, if you are observing from this side. Now again here, look at this distance. weld 1 and weld 2. How much? This is D. Then this axis is X, this axis is Y, very well. This is weld 1, W1, weld 2, W2, and here B. Length of the weld here, the nomenclature which is used is the B. In earlier case, we have used the L also, no problem. And thickness of the weld is T. This is the nomenclature. Again here, what is going to happen? Like, the eccentric load in the plane of the weld. What we have to do? We have to replace this P and we have to locate the position here. How we are going to change this eccentric load, we will see on next slide here. Look at this here. Now, this eccentric force P is replaced by an equal and similarly directed force P acting through the plane of the weld. This is 1. And second, along with the couple, this is 2. That means, look at this. We have seen in case this is weld 1, W1, and here weld 2, W2. This is the case. And what we have to do? We have to replace this eccentric force. And how to replace? For that purpose, we have to here. You can replace it by an equal and similarly directed force P here through acting in the plane of the weld. Plane of the weld, try to understand. And second, along with this couple, MB. Along with this couple MB. And because of this P, again, this is equivalent to this eccentric load condition. But now we can separate it. This is the force P and couple. And because of this force P is direct towards downward direction, very well. Because of this, what is happening here? Primary shear stresses, that is tau 1 or primary shear stress gets induced in it. And how to find out the primary shear stress? That is, very well, P upon area. And A means area of or throat area of all welds. Try to understand. That means in this case, 2 welds. Again, here B is the length, thickness T, BT, and top weld and bottom weld. The 2 times BT is the area in this case. P means this value of the force which is acting. So you will get primary shear stress. Try to understand in this case. But here the second thing, because of this couple, again, what is going to happen? Bending stresses are going to induce in the weld. Bending stresses. Try to understand. And why bending stresses? Because here fillet welds are used here at the end of the plate 1 or the plate 2. The bending stresses are going to induce in it. And these bending stresses are normal to the weld. And these are bending stresses. How to find out this? Because of, very well, the simple equation to find out the bending stress. Sigma B is equal to MBY by I. MBY by I. MBY by I. And MB means moment or a couple. And how to find out it? P into E. This is couple. And what is Y? Y is the distance from the neutral axis. Or in this case, if you are going to take, you have to measure this distance. Now in this case, we have taken this as a D. So you will get, this is Y here, D by 2. D by 2 from normal, that is neutral axis. So you can put Y is equal to D by 2. Total is D, the D by 2, and I, moment of inertia, that we have to find about the x-axis. About the x-axis. Try to understand, because here 2 welds are given. Okay, that we have to find out about the x-axis. And how to find out? That means Y, you will get the value Y is equal to D by 2 if you are going to refer earlier figure, and I, that we have to find out in this case. Then you will get the sigma B or bending stress. And how to find out the I, we will discuss here. Now let us see how to find out this I. Now in this case, again, I means, the nomenclature, moment of inertia of all welds based on the thread area. Then Y, distance of the point in the weld from the neutral axis, that is D by 2. Look at this diagram. This distance, how much is? This is D, and this distance means Y, that is D by 2. Try to understand, D by 2. And A means throat area of all the welds. Now in this case, B into T, B into T. So you can edit total throat area, you will get 2 times in bracket B into T. Try to understand. The A is equal to the throat area of the welds, and which is required to find out the primary shear stress. And I and Y required to find out the bending stress. Try to understand. And once you know the primary shear stress and bending stress. Then next step is very simple to find out resultant shear stress. But resultant shear stress means, again look at the relation. What relation I have put here? Tau max is equal to under root sigma b by 2 bracket square plus tau 1 square. It's a maximum shear stress theory. Maximum shear stress theory. So simply you can use this, the relation of maximum shear stress theory. So you will get tau max. And what is this relation? Under root sigma b by 2 bracket square plus tau 1 square. Tau 1 is the primary shear stress, sigma b is the bending stress. You can substitute all these values here. That is P by A, and sigma b is equal to MBY by I, and then you will get the tau. And this tau is equal to permissible shear stress or maximum or you can say permissible stresses of the weld, and you can equate with that. If permissible shear stress is given, it's okay. Not given, you can find out by using SYT and FOS. You will get the allowable or permissible shear stress. Try to understand. This is a very simple analysis for this case. So you have to use the maximum shear stress theory. But interesting question is this, to find out sigma b is equal to MB into Y by I. The MB means couple. You will get P into E. And what's Y? Distance from the neutral axis from this weld. You will get D by 2. And what's about the I? I is the moment of inertia of welds based on the throat area. Now here we have to find out the I. How to find out that? Yesterday I have also asked some of the one student send me the WhatsApp about how to find out the J3 in the yesterday we have solved one of the problem, because in the welded joint design problem it's very important to find out the J1, J2, J3 or IXX, IYY. That is important thing. But here already you studied this topic in strength of machine element, then applied mechanics. So you can use the same fundamental to find out this IXX and IYY. You know very well. Even though I would like to elaborate or discuss today, so how to find out it? So we have to find out now here the moment of inertia of weld 1. Now let us see case 1 about x-axis. Now this is x-axis, this is weld 1. So what you would get again here, how to find out, this is the CG, you will get the CG1 here. Yesterday I have told this here you will get the CG2, and if it is at some distance, that is D by 2, total is the D, you will get here this D by 2. Now to find out this, so you have to use the parallel axis theorem. Parallel axis theorem. So using parallel axis theorem, we can easily find out the moment of inertia. Let us find out for W1. The IXX, if I am going to find out for this weld, the B is the width here or length, T is the thickness, so you will get BT cube by 12 along the X-axis. Then you know very well, suppose B, I am writing here for your information, BT cube by 12 plus A Y bar square is the parallel axis theorem. And what is area now in this case for weld 1? Again B into T. So I am going to substitute here area, that is B into T. And Y bar square. Y means how much? D by 2 here. The D by 2 and bracket square the A into Y bar square. So you will get this. So you will get IXX. And if you are going to solve it, take BT common. Then what you will get? Again here what you have to do? So you have to use the terms, the T cube compared with the D and B dimension is very, very small. You can neglect it, and at the last what you will get? IXX is equal to BT into D square by 4. And this is for weld 1. But there are another weld, that is weld W2. And for this case also you will get the same IXX because they are symmetric. Therefore, instead of calculating again for the second weld W2, so you can mention there are two such a symmetric welds. The I is equal to 2IXX. So what you will get? 2 times this. So you will get this value. So you will get moment of inertia of the welds about x-axis. Try to understand. And after getting this value, you can substitute this value of I to find out the sigma b. Sigma b means mby by I. So here you can substitute this I. Try to understand. Along the weld, now it's both two are the horizontal weld. That's why you will get here two axis, ixx. No need to find out y. What you will get at the y? No, nothing. Try to understand. But if suppose I am going to say, if I am going to use another word here, third one, and I am going to say this is W3, is having some, the D, then thickness is T. So again, in this case, you will get IXX and IY also, that you can edit. Like suppose you have to find out the I for this W1, W2, and W3. That time, what you have to do? You can write this IXX plus IXS plus for this vertical one. And for vertical one, what you will get? Oh, this is for y-axis. So for y-axis, what you will get? D into T cube by 12. And again, this, if you are going to say A into Y bar, the Y bar means you will get the 0. The AY bar term becomes 0. So just you can put this value, that is the D into T cube by 12. In this way, you can easily find out the IY for the weld 3 also. You can edit for 3 welds. In this way, you have to carry out your analysis to find out the I, that is moment of inertia of the welds. I hope you understood this. Okay. So what the important thing is to find out sigma b mby by I is the important one. And in yesterday's case, when the welded joint subjected to eccentric load in the plane of the weld, that time to find out the secondary shear stress mtr by j or mr by j. J means polar moment of inertia. In j also, how to find out the j? J means ixx plus iyy, you will get the j. Try to understand. So you can find out in this way. So yesterday we have solved one such a problem. That means important thing in your welded joint case, you have to find out the polar moment of inertia and moment of inertia to get the secondary shear stress or the bending stress. And after that, you can find out resultant stress in eccentric load condition in the plane of the weld. And in this case, by using maximum shear stress theory, you can find out the tau is equal to something in terms of T. And if you know the permissible shear stress, you can compare directly, you will get the thickness. Try to understand. And then once you will get that thickness, you can find out the H. This is about the case number 2 when it is subjected to bending moment only. I have referred V.V. Bhandari's book for the same analysis. Thank you.